Hi, welcome to Fertility Talks. I'm Mary Wong, founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, author of Pathways to Pregnancy, acupuncturist, and your fertility strategist. Today, this is our third interview at the Canadian Fertility Show.
Busy.
And I'm so psyched to be here to give you information and provide you choice coming from experts in the field. And so here we are. And I'm thrilled to have here with us Simone, and she is the Special Projects Manager for Elite IVF. And what they do is they provide support and guidance to gestational surrogates and intended parents. She has over a decade of experience working with a leading global fertility agency and helping families achieve their dreams every day. So welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you have your own booth here.
Yes, yes. We do not just surrogacy, egg donation as well. So today there's a booth over there that we're helping patients get more information on all things related to third party.
Right, and this is an important thing for you maybe just to get an idea about, right? Because the thing is, no one ever thinks that they'll actually have a baby outside of the bedroom, or at least conceive outside the bedroom.
Right, and more so at the stage of third party. So no one really planned to be here. No one wants to be in a place that they need an egg donor or they need a surrogate. So it's a tough place to be. And if the doctor indicated this is where the stage in their fertility journey that they need to get to complete their journey, then they go out there and there's so much information, and it's not easy to kind of shuffle through, and it's not easy to compare because it's not apples to apples. There's a lot of different options. So it's great that they're having this show as well to help people get close to different resources.
Oh, absolutely. And again, back to accurate information versus just going down the vortex of Google, which can give you Dr. Google, who may give you lots of misinformation, yes. Unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
And so here we are, and I guess the first question I actually want to ask you is, why does someone, so you see the people who get surrogates,
yes.
So why would someone come and look at surrogacy?
Okay, so the different type of intended parents that we help could be a couple that had struggles, maybe they failed on their own and they've tried and they upgraded sort of the interventions in their process, and the doctor decided maybe there's something wrong with the lining and they need to do that with a surrogate. It could be someone that had other medical issues that maybe they don't have a uterus.
Yes.
Other couples could be, same-sex couples. That's physically, they need a surrogate.
There is no uterus.
No uterus exists.
No uteruses.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a single dad as well. So there's different reasons why people need it, but the bottom line is that they need a uterus.
Yes. Yeah, and I would like to actually say more than just a uterus, right?
Right.
Because of course, as an intended parent, I'm just going to say it out loud, there's a worry about who is this person?
Absolutely.
Right? There's fear around it.
Absolutely.
So, one of my goals,
ultimate release of control, right?
Yes.
It's terrifying. Absolutely.
So, really the goal of this talk for me is how do we dispel the myths or the fears surrounding this so that perhaps we can look at surrogacy as an option versus no way, Jose, right?
Right. So it does take a really special woman to rise up, put her hand up, and want to help someone in that matter, because she's then putting her entire body and sometimes life at a risk. And usually these women have their own families, their own kids, but they understand from their own personal experience the joy it is to be a parent, and they really cannot fathom that someone cannot have that. And for them it's easy, so they really want to share that with somebody else. And there's really amazing, special women that put their hand up like that for families.
And you know what? We see it at our clinic, and it just blows me away, right? So some people will do their pre and post embryo transfer as a surrogate for the intended parents, and I get to learn a little bit about their lives. And I'll tell you guys, they don't walk around with two heads. They're not really crazy.
No,
they're amazing, special human beings.
Absolutely. They like I said, they care of their families. Some of them, have their own full-time jobs as well. Life is on the go, so it's really humbling to be able to put the match together for their families and these wonderful women.
So then the question I have then is there a criteria, or can any woman just go, hey, I want to be a surrogate?
There is a criteria. Some of the basic criteria is mandated by the medical association, Do you want me to go into the details of the criteria?
Like the Coles Notes version.
The Coles Notes versions, obviously they need to be someone that has a reproductive history of successful pregnancies, conception,
Right.
and easy deliveries. You don't want to put another person at risk or have more fertility issues, because that's where the patients are coming from already.
Yes.
So that is the basic sort of medical criteria. But for us, we expand beyond that, because, like you said, it's very scary for the parents. So we look beyond the scope of just the physical parameters. We want to know who she is, what's in her life, who's the support network. There is, financial reimbursement for their expenses, so it doesn't put on further burdens on them. But it has to be some stability in the family as well, like not necessarily broken homes or problems like that. So there's a bit of a scope that goes around it that you're looking. It's not really like a checklist. That you want to make sure that this person is, doing it for the right reasons,
Right.
and that there's no chaos or something that will interrupt the journey for them, that everybody in their family and their network, their work colleagues that are supportive and aware of it. So these are sort of the extensions of what we look for, and in turn it encourages the family to know that these are good people and that it's safe.
So is there compensation?
Well, there is no direct compensation. The legislation in Canada, while it does allow for egg donation and surrogacy, it does not allow for direct compensation. However, undergoing fertility treatments, there could be loss of wages, travel, depending where the surrogate is. So the law does allow for reimbursement of allocated expenses to undertaking that journey. And if it means additional groceries or maternity clothes or things like that, that is respected and understood, and they will be reimbursed accordingly.
Right. And that's very fair, considering they're carrying your future child, right?
And it's, oftentimes the patient, it's not enough. They're doing something so great, and the parents are like, what can I do? I want to do more for them, right? Because they're doing the greatest thing, and there's no price tag really on that.
No.
So the parents are always so grateful, and they want to give back to the surrogate.
So really the takeaway point for that is they do it out of the kindness of their heart, and definitely not for money.
Yes, absolutely.
And two, that it's safe, and that they're tested, and
yes, they are, coming closer to the treatment. They are tested there's guidelines by Health Canada for the testing, so there's two parts. One is the medical, which is physical, ultrasound, blood work, etc. And the second part is the psychological screening as well.
And that's so important too, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, yes, so they're accountable and responsible.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything else to add to that list?
There is a legal phase that happens.
Okay.
So all the terms and agreements are in writing, so it's very clear who are the parents, what are the roles and responsibilities of both sides. So again, that alleviates any anxiety of the parents that she's going to run away with her child or things like that. So everything is very clear in the contract, and
So that's great, because the service provides the match, and then the legal matters that goes with it.
Yeah.
And because really, it's like, oh well, can I find a surrogate? Like, can I just get my friend to do it, right?
I've had patients that came to me, and I think it's great. Because it's not easy to find a surrogate. But even in those familiar circles, I strongly recommend having a legal contract. Even if it's your sister or whatever, it's really important to just really lay it down in writing, who's what, and then go ahead and continue. Yeah.
Absolutely, because, no matter, like, let's say we're best friends and you want to carry my baby, and I'm like, okay, yes. But then we don't know. Maybe we get a fight, and then we don't want to talk to each other. What do we do, right?
So,
I'm not going to give you my baby, right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to work very well.
Absolutely. So you want a legal contract, no matter how close or how far that surrogate is to you.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, right. So then we covered that. If you can find a surrogate on your own or through an agency,
right?
What do you recommend?
It is a personal choice, and like I said, sometimes people have sisters, cousins, colleagues that are close enough to their cause that are putting their hands up for them. I think the benefits of using an agency is because we are the experts. We know all the moving parts that are involved, and there are a lot of moving parts. We are close to the legislation, so we make sure that you are within the laws. So nobody's breaking any laws, and it does. In the beginning, when you meet someone, and if they're a stranger, it's a funny thing, and it really helps to have someone mediate and really hold that space for you and bring it together, so you and the surrogate just have an opportunity to organically develop the relationship without having all the technical and contracts and things around it.
Yeah, no, I think that's really great. And because, like, who would really want to do it on their own, right? Like, you've got enough to worry about. Like, trying to navigate this by yourself, possible, but you have to, as you say, line up all the moving parts, and you have no clue.
And you have to consider that surrogates and donors themselves are volunteer patients.
Yeah.
So while they are experienced in pregnancies, they've never been to fertility world. They don't understand sometimes the protocols and lingo. And when the patients have, the embryos at stake in that, you don't want to have anything jeopardize the transfer. So it's really powerful. And in our team, we have our own medical team that takes that surrogate one-on-one, coordinates everything, supports them through the journey. They're available to them 24/7, so it really ensures that the treatment will not go sideways.
Absolutely, I love it. So how about, is there anything special that you want to share with everyone as an intended parent while they're trying to think about this journey going forward?
I mean, like I said before, we understand that nobody really planned to be here. And our goal is to really hold that space, get you back on track on your plan so you feel again in control and closer to your outcome, which is having a baby. But at the same time, what I would recommend to patients is to be realistic, to set realistic expectations, whether it's around egg donation or surrogacy. Unfortunately, there's not enough out there to sort of
enough what out there?
Enough donors or surrogates for the demand.
Yeah.
So you want to be realistic, right? So not to look for someone that will keep you stuck in that matching phase for too long, because you want to get back on track on your plan.
Yes. Okay.
So that's what I would say. Yes, we understand it's not an ideal place to be, but don't get stuck too much in that matching. Like, get back on track, on plan for treatment, and you'll have the baby sooner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary, for having
Simone.
me. Yeah.
Yes, and I need to announce, I think this is your first live interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
And wasn't she awesome?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. So, just to finish off, can you? You know what? This is the live post number 151. So there are a lot of interviews, a lot of information based on experts and research, based on the most advanced research. And I would love for you to like, follow, share. Right now it's on our Facebook page, which is at Alive Holistic Health Clinic. And you can also find all of the other posts through our YouTube channel, which was just created because we upload everything onto it. And so that is at Mary Wong Acupuncturist. Acupuncturist was spelled with one C, by the way. And so find us and then just click on videos, and there's like a gazillion of them. And by the way, reach out to me, mw@aliveholistichealth.ca, and tell me what you want to hear. I want to know, and then we'll create content for you, because we're doing this for you, okay? So I'll see you in another hour, and we're going to talk about the safety of egg and sperm donation, and we're going to actually cover about transport of egg and sperms, how does that work? And there's just so much that goes into this. We can talk about this for days. So we're going to continue on with this conversation with Hemant Bisasar, the president of Can-Am Cryo Services. So that will be live post number 152. Okay. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.